as you're doing it wrong is the whole point of what is being made mandatory. But also, I'm trying to make a point. I've essentially been banned from Twitter as a consequence. I say banned, although technically I have been suspended. But the suspension will not be lifted unless I delete the hateful tweet in question, and I would rather die than do that.
Jordan B. Peterson. Jordan B. Peterson is quite the intellectual, and most people who operate on a rational or logical thought process would agree, and whether or not you agree with his ideas or not, you could say he is an intellectual, and his approach to the world is not only entertaining but meaningful, and you can tell he's a genuine and sincere man. Now, I've come to respect Jordan for some of his ideas, but one thing that I will not pretend to respect is his most recent decision. Jordan has aligned himself with the opposition. What does that mean? Well, this is the opposition. Now, as a person who supports Jordan and wants what's best for him, I'm making this video not out of hate for the Daily Wire. Now, I genuinely dislike the Daily Wire. A lot of the people on the Daily Wire are, well, you would consider an extremist in the conservative sense. A conservative extremist. Oftentimes, you can mistake a extremist for passionate, or oftentimes you can mistake an extremist for just someone who's pushing for reform. This is no mistake. I'm going to show you some people in the Daily Wire and what I think of them before I continue on. Middle-aged conservative dad, Matt Walsh. Honestly, I watch Matt Walsh damn near every day. Sometimes I agree with what Matt Walsh has to say, but oftentimes I find that Matt talks himself in circles. He tries to use humor as a escape, and he just has inconsistent arguments. One thing you can constantly do is use the same exact argument that Matt is using to refute someone or to disprove someone. Apply that same exact argument to him, and it literally works. Like, he is not the most intelligent person. He's not the best source to rely on for your information. Matt appeals to the everyday average guy. Candace Owens is everything that a based African American person hates. I'm pretty sure she's what we call an Uncle Tom. Yeah, I just looked up the word, and she's most definitely an Uncle Tom. Now, that's just two examples of members of the Daily Wire. What the Daily Wire serves to do, primarily, I would say, is oppose the upcoming beliefs of the liberals. Now, it makes sense that Jordan would align himself with these people because Jordan believes that liberals are currently waging war against truth and fact. I can't disagree with that. I can't even pretend that liberals are not pushing for a world where norms are broken and turned into perception. I won't pretend that Jordan is wrong for wanting to oppose these ideals, and I won't pretend that anyone on the Daily Wire is wrong for wanting to oppose these ideas, but the approach to opposing the ideas. Jordan is a very formal, Jordan is a very intelligent man. He has science and actual reasoning. When you look at Jordan's accolades, achievements, or titles, and then you look at everyone else in the Daily Wires, you see something very wrong. You have a distinguished role model of a man put with basically just everyday people who have ideas. Now, what does that mean? I'm not saying that everyday people who have ideas are always wrong, but I am saying that if you put a physicist amongst second grade science teachers, there's going to be a clear distinction and a clear difference in their approach to explaining their observation of the natural world.
Doesn't exist, by the way, that dead name category, except in the sensorial and addled minds of a tiny fraction of insanely narcissistic and increasingly dangerous trans activists.
Now, that's one of the primary reasons why I don't like Jordan's alignment or joining the Daily Wire. With what you just heard him say, narcissistic, increasingly dangerous ideology, or just people that call themselves trans activists. Now, that's a primary focus of the Daily Wire. I wouldn't say it's the only, but it's one of the major focuses, debating trans activists. Now, Jordan does a really good job of debating trans activists. He has very well-oriented arguments. He approaches things from a level of understanding or having empathy, and you can genuinely see he cares. But then watch a Matt Walsh video or a Candace Owens video, and you'll easily see what I'm trying to get at here. I truly believe that Jordan is doing God's work in terms of trying to debate or trying to stave off or fight against trans activists that are extremists. I truly believe that Jordan does a good job. But then you get Matt Walsh and you get Candace Owens. And it's just like how when you play a video game and say there's multiple characters you can play as, usually they'll have a ranking of like how hard it is to play the player or how good of a player they are. And so in this example, you would put Candace Owens or Matt Walsh at like the very lowest rank, the easiest difficulty. And then maybe you would put Ben second, because believe it or not, Ben actually isn't that stupid. He actually carries himself quite well. My problem with Ben Shapiro is not his approach to debate. It's honestly just with him as a person. He seems very inclined to believe what he's been taught, or he seems like if there was, here is just not an analogy, but this will help you understand what I'm trying to get at. Let's say there's a mission where all military officials going out to outer space. There's an obvious problem that needs to be solved. Ben is the guy that tells the group it has to be done by the book. you can't put anyone in danger. It has to be done by the book, and gets the whole crew killed because he was a stickler for the rules instead of finding a way to solve the problem. That we could have all solved the problem and survived if we used our heads. But Ben insisted that we get out the rule book and step by step go down the list to solve the problem. And then on the hardest characters to learn how to play, or the hardest character, the strongest character in the game, that's where you would put Jordan. He would be one of the top players in the game. And for him to align himself with the Daily Wire, I understand he may be thinking about the fact that his platform is not as big, and so he needs a bigger platform to reach more people, things along those lines. But I feel as if now the fact that he's a part of the Daily Wire, it takes away from his credibility. People already have these preconceived notions about the Daily Wire because people like Matt Walsh and Candace Owens are a part of the Daily Wire, and they can say some quite ignorant things and then upload it, and they purposely try to gaslight people. They purposely are they seem very childish, and so I just see that some people who have ill will towards the Daily Wire but don't know who Jordan Peterson is, they're going to perceive Jordan Peterson as some type of malign or malicious entity now because of his alignment with the Daily Wire. I don't know how much this concern really matters, because if at the end of the day all Jordan wanted to do was fight off this extremist pro LGBTQ doctrine or ideology, if that's all he wanted to do with the rest of his career from now on, then there's no problem with what he's done. But I know that Jordan Peterson is bigger than just handling the left. I feel as if this was a misstep, and at the end of the day it's going to be more of a disservice, and people will definitely be using that to smut my main man Jordan's name. At the end of the day, there's really nothing else to say. So, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please share this video. Tell your friends that Jordan is not a bad man. Go read 12 Laws of Power. Don't watch What is a Woman? It's a waste of time. Yeah. Peace out.